Buongiorno. Hello once again. This is Dave coming to you from today, the beautiful city of Bologna. Let's see what the date is today. I'm losing track of time. It's part of having a good time. Today is, I believe, the 6th of September. That's right. Who knows? Time flies when you're having fun. And I got to say, for the most part, I've been having fun here in this beautiful city, Bologna, in the Emilia-Romagna region of Italy. Well, first, let's talk a little bit about the elephant in the room, what's going on with COVID. And if you listen to the previous ranting that I did from Milan a few days ago, you know that it was a little bit of a challenge to actually get here because the rules changed right before I left my home in Florida, and getting here required an extra step. Right now, in this part of Italy, in Emilia-Romagna, this is the area that has cities like Bologna, Parma, Modena. The vaccination rate, fully vaccinated, is about 77% of the population. I'm leaving for tomorrow for Tuscany, where I'll be spending a bit of time taking care of a house for some friends and some dogs. And well, they're gone somewhere else. And while I'm there, I will be in a region that currently has 78% of the population vaccinated. In, I guess, the winner in Italy right now, as far as regions go, is the region of Trento. It's currently at 93% vaccinated. These are people who are fully vaccinated, who are eligible for the vaccine, who are old enough to receive the vaccine. The region of Italy that has the lowest vaccination rate is the region where my family comes from, Calabria. Right now they're at 58%. There's different reasons for that, I'm sure. One reason is that it's an area that's very rural, and a lot of people live in really small places without a lot of clinics or hospitals. It's also the South. Just like the south of the United States, the south of Italy is quite a bit more conservative, and people are a little more hesitant about doing, new things. So maybe that's the reason why. However, even with the vaccination rate being so low in Calabria, it's still a lot better than in Florida, which I understand is at 53% right now. Y'all folks in Florida, go get your jabs. Seriously, I've had mine. I seem to have not grown a tail or pointy ears or anything like that. It all seems to be okay. Now, in terms of the behavior of people in Bologna, talking to friends here, I hear that in the past it's been pretty sad in the city because I guess back in February there was a big spike in the city, and a lot of people were sick. Some people died, and during that time the city was pretty much on a total lockdown. You could not leave your house except to go to the grocery store, except to go to the doctor, except to go to work. And I guess there was one other exception. If you were a non-custodial parent of some children, you had the ability to go visit your children, and that was pretty much it, And the people were being stopped by the police for being out and about, and potentially fined €1,000 for being out. So people took it seriously. The street that I'm currently living on here in Bologna during the height of the lockdown. This is a city that has porticos. These are kind of covered walkways. So as you walk down the street, most of the walkways are covered. They're the top floor, the second floor, what they would call the first floor here in Italy, kind of juts out over the street, and so there's a nice covered walkway. Often the pavement is mosaics. It's very beautiful, and there are columns along the street that hold up the the first floor, hold of the floor above the sidewalk. And on those columns, the people who lived in the apartments above the stores, above the cafes, and so on, would put up pictures of themselves with their names on them to be outside, at least symbolically. It was a very beautiful thing. Mask wearing. Let's talk about mask wearing in this time. Now, recently the restrictions were lifted here. People are able to go out and about. For a while, you could only eat outside. You could only go to a coffee shop and eat outside. There were some accommodations made. Coffee shops would open a window up so you could go up to the counter and you could order a cup of coffee and take it to your outdoor table and eat and drink. And restaurants were the same, but that's lifted and things are a lot easier now. Now, of course, there is a little bit of a rise in coronavirus infections, new cases here in Italy right now, here in Emilia-Romagna right now. But looking at the data, looking at the charts, it's not like it was in February, that's for certain sure, when there was a huge spike. And also the spike seems to already be, it's like a normal curve. It's already seems to be moving down. Of course, past performance is no indication of future performance, but who knows? People on the streets during the day, things are different during the day and at night, but during the day on the streets, people are mostly not wearing masks. They are maybe 1 in 10, 1 in 15 people are wearing a mask, mostly old people like me, but not the young people for the most part, although some do. It's and seems to be no stigma either way about it. You don't hear people hacking and coughing on the street, which is a good thing. People know to stay home if they're sick. I know when I woke up this morning, I'm in a little apartment on a street called Via da Pratello, and on the street below, I could hear somebody hacking and coughing. I closed my window, even though I'm a long ways away from the street. But I thought, well, it's time to close the window, and discretion is the better part of valor. Now, in stores, indoors, in restaurants and stores, wearing a mask is obligatory, and it's taken very seriously. Everybody, when they go into the store, wear their mask. When they're outside, they may wear them under their chin. They may wear them hanging from an ear. They may hold them in their hands. A lot of people seem to carry them on their arm like this, actually, like this, and then put them on when they need to. Always on their left arm. I don't know why. It's interesting. There are so many subtleties to this whole situation that I don't understand. For the small stores, there is often a sign on the door that says that there's a maximum number of people who are allowed inside the store at one time. In some cases, it's only one person. There are queues outside of the tabacchi, the stores where you buy tobacco and bus tickets and lottery tickets and stuff like that. But in the in the big stores, there is a colleague at the door, at the entrance to the store, with one of those thermometer guns, and they are checking your temperature when you go in. In some stores, they require to see your vaccination pass. In Italy, they have something called the Green Pass, and the Green Pass, I think it's for the whole EU, but each country has their own version of it, of course. And the Green Pass is like a QR code on your phone, basically, or you can print it out and carry it with you, that indicates your COVID status. Now, if you've had the COVID test within the last 48 hours, and that's you've not had the vaccination.
My apologies. I couldn't hear what you said.
Well, that was my new Apple Watch. Another story. I'm a research subject, and they sent me an Apple Watch to as part of the study that I'm involved in. So my apologies for the interruption. Be quiet, Apple Watch. Anyway, where were we? Oh, yes. the Green Pass. So the Green Pass is something that you get kind of automatically when you take a test. You have a if you're a resident of Italy, you have a health card, Tessera Santarea, I think it's called, and it's a card that it's what you use for accessing healthcare, which, by the way, everyone in Italy has as part of the social contract. Everybody has healthcare, and it costs less per capita than it does in the U.S. And the Italians have a longer lifespan. So, who knows? Maybe it's a good thing to have universal healthcare, but that information, if you have a health card, is automatically loaded up to it, and then you get this QR code in the email, or you print one out and you carry it around with you. And if you've only had a test, that ability to enter a place is only good for 48 hours or something like that. But if you've had the vaccine, it's good for a certain number of months, however many months. I think it's 9 months or something like that. So then you don't have to worry about it. You just show that when you come in. Now, if you received your vaccinations abroad, especially if you received yours in the United States, like I did, you show your CDC card. And for most places, that's acceptable. And I know you have to show it on the train, for example. Coming here the other day from Milano, the conductor wanted to see my card, and I don't think she'd ever seen a CDC card, but she knew about them. So she spent a lot of time, asked a lot of questions about what it was like and so on. And in my poor Italian, I tried to answer her. But yeah, the mask wearing is really inside. It's really prevalent here in cultural venues. They kind of rope off some of the seats, so it's kind of like when you go to the doctor's office in the U.S. I think it's the only place where I've seen this in the U.S. where some of the seats are blocked off, so you can't sit right next to the next person. I saw an outdoor puppet show the other day in Piazza Vivaldi, and they had some of the seats blocked off there and you had to show your coronavirus pass to sit down in this outdoor venue. I understand it's the same for sporting events, for concerts, for theaters and things like that. Maybe I'll get to go to a theater while I'm here. I hope to. From the COVID perspective, things are I think rational here, and people seem to be. They seem to be compliant, and that's one of the reasons that Italy's doing a lot better than, say, for example, Florida, in terms of the number of people who are infected, the number of people who are vaccinated, and so on. The culture is really strong here right now, and it's interesting. I've been to Bologna many times. Normally, it's pretty much an international city, and the University of Bologna, which is here, has students from around the world, and including me at one time. And normally on the streets, you hear many languages spoken, a lot of English spoken. And this time, I really haven't heard much English spoken at all. I heard a couple of women in a restaurant last night speaking English to each other. Turned out that one was Swiss and the other one was American, and the American woman didn't know Swiss German or Swiss French. So Europeans are amazing the way they know multiple languages. It's just amazing. But the culture is strong, and I do want to kind of end this little video love letter with one little story. Now, those of you who know me in Florida, some of you know that I was involved in an action several years ago to try to preserve some parkland in Tallahassee, a city near where I live, and that parkland was platted as a park. It was recognized as a park. It was kind of wild land on the side of a more established park, and the city decided that they were going to sell that land, which was parkland, to a developer who was building some student dormitories in the neighborhood. and wanted some extra parking. So they turned the park into a parking lot. They destroyed the trees, bulldozed the trees right in the middle of bird nesting season, which was, geez, could it be any worse? Well, I want to tell you this story of Piazza Mezzabalzi. I'm sorry, I should know the name of this piazza because I love this story about it. But the last time I was here, this was kind of a piazza outside of a church. It was a piazza on land that used to be owned by the Medici, who you may know about, and this piazza was kind of used as a parking lot. In the past, it had been more of a public square kind of place, but for that particular neighborhood, for that quartiere. But now it was at that point it was used as a parking lot. So people would park their cars and their motorcycles and their bicycles and so on in this piazza, and it really wasn't. There wasn't any park furniture. There was no place to sit. Nothing like that. Well, last year, in the midst of the pandemic, some students in the School of Architecture at the University of Bologna decided that, which is in the vicinity, decided that this park should go back to being a park, and so they applied for funding from the commune, the city, from the region, and from the European Union, and were funded, and so now this park has become a park again. The parking lot has turned into a park. So it's opposite day in Italy, opposite day in Tallahassee. It's so interesting. The government here in this region of Italy, in Emilia-Romagna, is a very liberal government and very progressive government. And it's nice to see good things happen. Well, that's it for this little love letter from Italy. I hope that you're safe, that you're happy, that you're healthy, and I hope that you, in the future, you'll be able to travel because traveling is about the most wonderful thing I have found. It's just, it informs your mind, it shows you other ways to be, it shows you new cultures, and of course, we'll talk about the food another time. All right, ciao, arrivederci. Buona giornata from Via di Pertalo in the beautiful city of Bologna.